welcome back to my channel. We are back with Dr. Ben Johnson of Osmosis Skincare today. And today's topic, we want to talk about pores. And Dr. Ben here has 3 tips that he's going to share with us on how to shrink your pores, which you said is like a new, like you have some new kind of like ways to treat pores that not really everybody's talking about.
Yeah, and it's only because because I've been tracking all these cases, like thousands of cases through all my professional network, I kept seeing a consistent pattern of enlarged pores when people had these certain things going on, and I had to leave. A lot of what I teach about is nothing at all like what I learned. Like when we just said we are going to talk about pores today, like, well, yeah, isn't that aging skin and the class? And I'm like, that's what I thought too. So Brianna's on top of it. So not to, contradict what everyone else, well, it is to contradict what everyone else is saying, but it's
Just
only
some new
because
discoveries, some new
yes,
things that you discover.
it's a new discovery, and it'll really help you because what I'm seeing is a lot of younger people. So people between the ages of 20 and 35 who are pores are just enlarging. And you know what's an interesting thing today is not as many people sunbathing as you might think, right? There's a lot of young girls, for example, who have been trained by their moms. That's stay out of the sun.
Stay out of the sun.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but my point is to say their pores are getting bigger and they're not in the sun. Like that wasn't the cause, even though, that's what a typical dermatologist answer would be. Oh yeah, that's from the collagen laxity and or the collagen loss and the laxity loss and the skin like opens them up. And I used to teach that 15 years ago. And so what have I learned? So the top 3 things, the number one thing to know is where your pores are located matters, right? So when you see pores right here, that's your small intestine zone. If you see pores right here, that's the end of your colon zone. This is also end of your colon. So these two kind of things line up together. So I see people with pores here and here. Mainly I see people pores with here. And then the probably the most common place to get pores is your nose, right? And everyone thinks, well, I have blackheads with these pores. It's the blackheads pushing the pore open. So if I go to my esthetician and she squeezes them out and does those extractions, then my pores will shrink back.
Right.
But it's not that easy because what's really going on, first of all, this is probably the place to tell you, if you have blackheads, it's from mucus in your gut. And I'm telling you that's 100% every time I see it. So what do we do with that? Brianna, what do we do with mucus in the gut?
Skin clarifier.
Skin clarifier. And
I tell people this all the time because I always tell people, get on that if you have acne, get on that if you have rosacea. And then I'm like, the benefit, the bonus of it is you literally, all your little blackheads disappear.
Yes. Yep. And that's because you say, okay, well, what is it? Well, here's what we know about, and again, I love to use the logic train that everyone else used to debunk the theory. So right now, if you asked almost every skin professional, they would tell you that clogged pores are caused by dirt. Dirt is the problem, right? The dirt's accumulating on your face. And so what are these people who keep getting blackheads? What do they keep
start
doing?
washing their face so much.
Yes. They keep washing their face. And what happens? It keeps coming back and it keeps coming back. And that's because it's not dirt. We all know that. The people who keep washing their face know that. They know that after they get their extraction and they're all cleared out and the next day they have more, they know that they didn't wallow around in a bunch of mud, right? And so it was so crazy that was the story everyone was telling, when in reality, what it is it's like what I would describe as like a mucus byproduct. So there's this mucus in your gut, and when it gets too thick in the gut, it actually gets absorbed by the gut and carried to your skin to be removed. Now, if I could tell you, why does your body do that? Why doesn't your body just dump it? Maybe because one of the reasons God created the skin was to tell us what's going on inside. And so I firmly believe that's a possibility. And so it's just meant to tell you, hey, you have blackheads. So what is the main cause of mucus in the esophagus? By the way, you're usually clearing your throat, and yet that's a sign you have mucus in your esophagus. So sour drinks, orange juice, lemonade, other sour drinks, fried food. We talked about this in the last video. Dairy is the number one cause. So I can guarantee you, no matter who you are, if you eat a bowl of ice cream and you wake up the next morning, you will have blackheads around your esophagus, on the tip of your nose, which is esophagus, because of that dairy. So those are the things you kind of want to be more careful of. But like you and I, what we do is we're going to cheat and have the things we like to have, but we'll just take Skin Clarifier every 2 to 3 months.
Yep.
Keep it clean.
It just keeps everything cleaned out and fresh. It
Yeah.
really does. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's for the blackhead part of the story, but that's not what is actually making your pores bigger. What makes your pores bigger is the change in your gut. So you know how people talk about leaky gut?
Right.
Leaky gut shows as enlarged pores on the face. And it's not the end all be all. Like most people who talk about their leaky gut, they're kind of at the end stage leaky gut where there's a lot of other digestive stuff happening. In the beginning of leaky gut, when it's starting to form and gaps are opening in your gut, the number one cause of gaps opening in your gut is fermented foods. And everyone thinks those are good, right?
Yeah, right.
You ever hearing like, oh, you should do sauerkraut or yogurt? Yogurt is the number one cause of enlarged pores. So
Is it
anytime
really?
yes, and anytime I do like a skin eval, if I see a lot of pores, I'm like, how much yogurt do you eat? Because it's so common and people think it's good for their gut.
I know. Oh, I
All
hate
it has
yogurt.
in it is lactobacillus, which is, one strain for your gut. And guess what, guys? That strain has been clinically proven to make you fat. When you have too much lactobacillus, you get fat. So you don't want lactobacillus. You don't want yogurt. You don't want heavy fermented foods. You don't want to drink kombucha. You don't want to, any kind of, and everyone always said, oh, well, the best way to build your microbiome is fermented food. And I'm just telling you, that's the absolute opposite of the truth. And it will cause your pores to be large. Now, the good news is you can reverse that. So depending, if you have blackheads, you get Skin Clarifier. If you have just pores and not a lot of blackheads, you're eating a pretty clean diet, but you think yogurt is beneficial. So you got to cut out yogurt altogether. You got to cut out, there's different types of milk. Like you can do milk. Milk just causes mucus. So each person has a different level of tolerance to milk. You better to get an A2 cow, better to get, low pasteurized or raw. Those are going to be easier to digest and better for your body. So then recovery. We're back to recovery, taking a prebiotic. It'll heal the gut and that will shrink the pores and rescue on the surface. So rescue on your skin to shrink the pores from the top, and then recovery and maybe Skin Clarifier in taken internally to do a combo effect on enlarged pores. But notice where your pores are. Like if you have pores down here, then you're probably constipated. And so you need to look at fixing that, which we can do with like our supplement, digestive support, Skin Clarifier, recovery, all those things work on constipation. But yes, so it's not about sun exposure when it comes to pores. And the proof really, if another logic step for people who are like, wait a minute, my doctor says that. Why should I believe you? Notice that your whole face gets sun, but almost everybody only has enlarged pores on the nose and right here. Why don't you have it here? Your forehead should be riddled with it because your forehead gets most sun of anything, right? And it really has that. And notice too that a lot of your pores are on the sides of your nose, which again don't get as much sun. And you notice you don't usually have pores here, right? And so this is where the sun hits most. So I'm just telling you, if you follow the logic, you're going to start to realize that a lot of what's in our medical books is not correct information. Now,
it's so true. Yeah.
I'm an MD licensed in California. I'm general practice by definition. I'm not a dermatologist, but I've become an expert in holistic analysis of skin. And we'll see.
Well, the proof is too, when you take Skin Clarifier, you will see the blackheads disappear. Like it was the funniest thing. So I got my mom taking that because she was diagnosed with like a little minimal rosacea. I'm like, Mom, just take a thing of Skin Clarifier, watch what it does to your skin. Didn't tell her anything about the blackheads. She called me up like around maybe like day 9, day 10, the end of the cleanse. And she was like, she's like, Brie, I don't know what this is, but all my pores, my blackheads are gone. I'm like, I think so crazy. I'm like, yeah, I forgot to tell you, but that's what it does.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
so true. Like the proof is in, let us show you, Brianna and I, let us show you through the application. You're going to see the results will prove to you that what I am saying is true.
Yeah.
So that's why, by the way, I'm so confident because I feedback repeatedly over and over. People all around the world like, oh my gosh, I wasn't sure if I should believe you, but I tried it and you did clear my skin. And so
Yeah. It's
again,
just so
Dr.
shocking that every skin condition from pores to acne, rosacea, all of it stems from internal. Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. And we live in such a tough world now where, oh, I should tell people the number one cause of blackheads from a supplement is magnesium.
Oh yeah, you told me
Magnesium.
this. Yeah,
And
that's
then
interesting.
let me think what else on a supplement. Vitamin C. If you take too much vitamin C, you will develop mucus and you'll notice you'll start getting congested, but you'll also see the blackheads. And so a lot
Interesting.
of times blackheads come with nasal congestion. So a lot of
Hmm.
times we're clearing people's allergies, we're clearing people's sinuses because the mucus is drained out of everywhere in their body, not just their gut.
Oh, and this is a question that I get that you can answer now. People ask me all the time when you're taking the skin clarifier, do you see any like weird detox symptoms or purging? I always say no. I don't know if anyone that you've ever talked to or work with,
Well,
me
it
personally,
depends.
I've never seen that.
It depends. I don't see very okay, so maybe less than probably somewhere around 2% of people could see in the first cleanse the die off acne. So what's happening is as you remove mucus, you're exposing the candida, you're killing the candida at the same time, and you might have a few patchy acne for less than a week. That could be one experience. The other one could be bloating or gas because when you start to remove mucus that's been there a while, you're
Mhm.
once again, it's like exposing toxins that may have been trapped in there. All that
Yeah.
kind of stuff has to clear out. So yeah, you might have a couple digestive symptoms with it, but you won't have it after the first time you do it. It's only
Okay.
the first time you do it that you might have something.
Okay. Perfect. So, anything else on the pore topic?
No, the other thing that we have is an extract mask. I think you're selling that.
Oh, yes, yes, yep.
Yeah, so that's
We have that.
great to pull the blackheads out to help people
Yep.
cleanse. Because sometimes just washing alone, you can't get all that stuff.
Hmm.
You want to get in there with your fingers and do that, but
Yep.
the mucus ash goes both ways. So you're shoving mucus into
Back.
your skin. Yeah,
Yeah,
backwards.
exactly, exactly.
So
No, that's a good one. That extract, that mask is so good.
yeah,
It
people
does.
love it.
It pulls everything out.
Charcoal and clay, and it really does pull things out. So I
Yep.
think that's about it for that one.
Yeah, which is super interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this little. It is like a kind of a new little take on pores because nobody talks about coming from internal. But again,
And
everything
it's the
stems from
one
internal.
thing I would say when you talk about a 20 something, they have the wrinkles haven't hit them yet. It's the one
Hmm.
thing they're like, oh, I want porcelain skin. But then when
Exactly.
pores start showing up, they're like, what? So I
What
hope it helps.
exactly? Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ben. We have one more
Yeah,
topic we're going to film. So stick around
yeah.
for our next video and we'll see you guys later.
See you later.